Hey guys, so I was looking on Twitter and I saw this. This is Mary Loves Comics or Mari, and it says I don't want Jaden Smith as Miles Morales or in any fucking superhero movie. And I agree. Jaden Smith just he sucks. He can't act. He definitely did not inherit the acting genes from his parents. Um, but Miles Morales. I saw that Spider-Man movie when it came out a while ago. The one with Miles. He's a pretty cool character. It's fun, energetic. Um, Definitely a spider. You know what you think of when you think of Spider-Man. He's fast talking. He's funny. He's sarcastic and what you would expect from Spider-Man. Spider-Man is almost like Deadpool with how snarky they are with the villains and how hung up on themselves they are sometimes. But I watched it, was it Into the Spider-Verse or something like that, when you have a bunch of different spider people. There's like one that's a pig, and then you had Spider Gwen. But it was a great movie. I had fun watching it. So Miles Morales is definitely one that I would love to see. I know what the Spider-Man game that came out not too long ago is Miles Morales. Um, and people liked it. I mean, apart from the fucking political bullcrap like the Black Lives Matter shit that they put into it, people said it was a great game. Um, because Miles Morales is a good Spider-Man. There's also another thing I saw in here. Static Shock. You guys remember Static Shock? Kids WB? Uh-huh. Great show. Um, but that's another that now that's a superhero I would love to see. He's a black superhero, so they can't. I mean, he was Static Shock was on TV when I was a teenager. So it's like just because you weren't born when this stuff was on doesn't mean there's no representation. We had representation and diversity and this and that. It's just all the people complaining about it weren't alive when it was around. A lot of these are like fucking teenagers, like representation. No, we had Static Shock. I remember coming home from like middle school, high school, and watching Static Shock. It was a great show. Great show. I love his character. And it's without the, you know, actually, I think I saw another one down here. There you go. Simple as that. Static Shock. I mean, it's a cool superhero. But let's go down some more. Oh yeah, Dallas Young is perfect for Miles Morales. Yeah, the little kid at the they introduced in the final, not the final season, but the last season of Cobra Kai. He was like all nice, and then became a jerk off, and then he's like, but I don't want Jaden Smith in any fucking. Yeah, pretty much. So I had to look up the year when Static Shock came out. It actually came out in 2000. Uh, 2000, and it ran till 2004. So 2004, yeah, it was like middle school, high school. But I mean, and then you look at the cast, the voice cast, it's very diverse. Phil Lamar, you know, as Static. Also, you know, Samurai Jack played Samurai Jack. Kevin Michael Richardson, great voice actor. But you can see huge diversity. A lot of, black characters, a lot of, Latina looking characters. Very diverse. And this was back in 2000, 2004. And like I said, it was a great show. It really was. Um, Rubber Band Man. We got Kevin Conroy, the man himself, the Dark Knight. Kevin Conroy has been doing the voice of Batman for fucking ages. At this point, he is Batman. It's like Mark Hamill is the Joker. He is the Joker. So but Kevin Conroy, the man, the myth, the legend. Um, Kevin Michael Richardson, same thing. Teen Titans as Trigon, awesome character. Raven's father, just a giant fucking demon. Goro in Mortal Kombat, just a plethora of just memorable characters. But yeah, you can see it's a very diverse cast. And guess what? We never had a problem with it because it wasn't shoving things down our throats. I mean, if I remember, the show did have some it was kind of like at some points it was kind of like Captain Planet or something like that, where it had some kind of message, and that's fine. Like Captain Planet, it's kind of obvious it's going to have some kind of message, whether it be about drugs or violence of any sort, like sexual violence or abuse or whatever it is. But for a show, I mean, fucking Sonic, the thing what Sonic says at the very end of the episode, it's just how the 90s and early 2000s were with the, public service announcements. But we didn't mind because it was a great show. I don't want Jaden Smith in any fucking movie. Also, you'll probably see at the top, I don't know why I just got the song in my head, so yeah. But Phil and Mar, ecstatic. Um, like I said, Miles Morales is a really cool character. He's definitely earned, the spot as a true Spider-Man. I mean, I love the outfit. You're with Spider-Man, you're so used to seeing the blue and the red and the white, but here it's like a much darker. The pattern is a bit different, but it's still Spider-Man. He still acts like Spider-Man. When you think of Peter Parker Spider-Man, he still acts like that. Um, he's just a he's a good character, and it shows yeah the yeah. Imagine him trying to appropriate Puerto. Yeah, and that's the thing about Miles Morales. Yeah, he's not fully black. He's black and Latino and Puerto Rican. So a very diverse character, and yet people like him because he's well written. Um, if you haven't seen, was it Into the Spider Verse? I really recommend watching it. It is really fun to watch, seeing all these different Spider-Man pop up, and um, it's a really good movie. The animation, the way the CGI looks, can be a little jarring at some points, but it really is a good movie. There are points that really hit you. You're really invested in the movie, and I remember seeing it when it came out, and I was on Netflix, or it was something, one of those sites. And I watched it, and I really liked it. So if you haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse, I really recommend watching it. Um, Spider-Gwen, it's pretty fun. Um, Also, I saw another thing about Spider-Man about Sam Raimi, Spider-Man 4, about like Peter and MJ have a kid, and their kid becomes like Spider-Man or Spider-Girl rather. And I think that would be awesome. Is Sam Raimi, the one who did Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, the like Tobey Maguire. I would love to see that. People look back at those movies and it's like, yeah, they're goofy, but they're like comic book goofy. There's just a weird bunch of weird stuff that happens. It's like, how did that happen? Well, it's a comic book movie. It's not supposed to make sense. But there was supposed to be like a Spider-Man 4, but that never happened after Bully Maguire, emo Peter. Um, especially the third one. I was expecting, when I heard Venom was going to be in the movie, I always love Venom. People, if you talk about Spider-Man and villains, and Venom is always one that gets brought up because he's such a good character. Because he's he's the symbiote. He can attach to other people, and when he attaches to Peter, he becomes really emo-ish and moody. but then he attaches to someone else, and then suddenly it's just giant hulking beast, and um, you know, it's just a really good, fun character. I remember what was it? The Amazing Spider-Man. There was a GameCube game. I think it was PlayStation 2 as well, where you can play as Venom. You know, like go around eat people to restore energy and shit. It was really fun. Um, but usually when people think of like Venom, they think of huge, hulking, bulky Venom. But here we got him for like a few minutes. Like, oh yeah, I want to kill the spider. You want to kill the spider. Together, he doesn't stand a chance. Interested? And then you had the fucking Sandman, and although that Sandman scene when he first becomes Sandman, where you just see sand, and he's like trying to form himself, and he breaks down, and it's just a quiet scene. There's really like no music. You just see him trying to form himself and to bring himself together. It's such a great scene. And then he like holds it, grabs the locket. He tries to grab the locket that's on the ground. He tries grabbing it, but it goes right through because he can't keep his hand solid to grab it. Just like I said, it's just quiet and emotional, and it's just so fucking good. So, Spider-Man 3 wasn't all that bad. Um, but yeah, I would love to see a live action Miles Morales movie, but that's the question for the day, I guess. If they were to cast a live action Miles Morales, who would you want to play Miles? I mean, remember, he is black, he's Puerto Rican. Who would you want to see play Miles? Jaden Smith. Um, and also, would you like to see a Static Shock movie? And if, there was, who would play Static? Two great characters, representation, who were from the early 2000s. Well, Miles not from the early 2000s, but Static's from the early 2000s. Um, Great character, well written. People love that show. Um, and again, it's like I said, all the people complaining about representation are the ones that weren't born around that time. So there's like, what? There were characters like that? Yeah, we had characters like that. Lots of them. We had Blade. You know, we had superhero. We had Blade. Well, he wasn't really a hero, but you know what I mean. Spawn, same thing. He wasn't really a hero, but he wasn't a villain. But he was black, and that was in the fucking 90s. So, but yeah, Miles Morales, who would you have play Miles? And Static, who would play Static? And would you like to see another Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie with Peter and MJ's kid becoming Spider-Man or Spider-Girl? Let me know below. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.